Yeah, that never works. Tell
No,
me about that.
they had me on a pedestal sink. They had all of this on a pedestal sink.
I was going to ask, how does that work?
It didn't.
Because I've tried to fuck in the
It
kitchen.
came off the wall.
Yeah.
It came off the wall.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Side Piece Podcast. This is a second take because we had some squeaking chairs. I don't know if it was Joslyn that was squeaking or me or both of us.
I think both of us. It's okay.
Hey, well, welcome, my friend Joslyn.
Yes, that's me.
Good
My
to
friend
see you.
Thom.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Good to see
you.
you
look
too.
fantastic.
Thank you.
So tell me, it looks like you have some new additions. Yes.
They're the J's. J1, J2, and they're 34.
Oh, there's okay. So listen, the last time I saw you, believe it or not, was the AVNs pre-COVID.
Yes.
I cannot believe it's been that long.
I know, it's been a minute.
I know. And I caught you right at the end, I think, because I got a shirt from you, which was your last one.
It was.
And then my husband fucked it up by putting it in a dryer.
No, it's just, it
So
looks
now-
vintage.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
now you're vintage.
I'm circa 77, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, so it still looks
It
good.
works, I like it.
I'll probably wear it tonight just for nostalgic sake. However, you brought some new merchandise.
I did.
I'm seeing it. Let's see. It's you with new hair.
Yeah, that was when I called it my Posh Spice Bob.
It works.
So yeah, but then obviously my hair is red and stuff now. But
I'm digging the Fendi bodysuit.
the Fendi tights are very nice, yeah.
Oh, see?
Yes.
Hold that up for this camera.
You want it in this camera? Oh, Joslyn has to hold it up. Oh.
So, Jocelyn, this is your camera. So if you're on,
Look, I'm on my boobs.
Maybe I'll have to fit that for tonight, too. So tell me, when I last saw you, obviously we were at the show.
Mm-hmm.
My next time talking to you was 2 years later.
Yeah.
And you're back on the road, I guess?
I am. I actually have been on the road the whole time during COVID. My work didn't stop. The only thing that stopped were club appearances. But I was still able to buy my house in the middle of COVID because I am an independent contractor and I wasn't getting unemployment or any of such things. So it was really, really cool. But yeah, got a house in Vegas, remodeling it right now and going to pay it off by the end of next year.
Holy shit. That's perfect. See, I wish I could say the same. I'm still just paying and paying and paying and paying. And still fighting with building management. So
I hear that.
We'll see if that cycle ever ends. So tell me about, are you like a finicky homeowner? Are you putting all the personal touches in it, or is it just a house?
I'm just putting a bunch of personal touches because when I bought it, it was all custom. But I have ADHD and ADD and all the Ds. So I had 3 different kind of floors.
Oh.
So that drove me kind of
Oh, so there was a schizophrenic that owned it before you.
There was somebody. And then when I had to go and replace some of the shelves in the cabinets, all the cabinet people were like, well, we don't have those. I'm like, well, yeah, can you make one? I'll pay extra. And they're like, oh, ma'am, that's custom. I'm like, sure, everything in my house is bleeping custom. But yeah, can you just make me a new shelf? Thanks.
See, I know. When you and I were talking in the car, you and I are the same on one thing, that I always find that I'm either trying to figure out how to pay for stuff that I bought yesterday or planning how to pay for the stuff that I want tomorrow.
Exactly. So yeah, we were talking about that, and then in regards to my home remodel and our surgeries.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to
Ladies
those.
and gentlemen, save up, okay? Don't go to the cheapest one. Go to the best in their field. Like my face doctor, Dr. Michael Bayun in Chicago, the best in the face, okay? I am almost 45. Thank you very much, Dr. Bayun. And boob doctor. Why would you go to a foot doctor for your boobs? I don't know. You go to Don Rivas if you want the best in the boobs. He's also the man who invented the internal bra. He owns the patent, so any other doctor that does the internal bra has to pay my doctor a patent fee.
Oh, she's plugging away. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh. We're also on Jocelyn's Instagram Live right now, too.
Yes,
So
we
we're
are.
using all cameras at this point. So, Jocelyn, tell me, too. I heard a rumor that your name was submitted for the AVNs for possible entertainer, the what
Yeah,
year?
I think it's probably. I think I heard something similar to for Hall of Fame.
Hall of
I was
Fame.
actually just inducted into the Urban X Hall of Fame. Was it August?
Nice.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so that was fun. 17 years in the game. Finally got the ooh.
For those of you that can't do math, that means she started in 2005.
Yes, and when I was 27.
You still look 27 to me.
Oh, now you're flirting with me.
And your boobs look 1.
They're almost 2.
Oh, they're almost 2. Shit.
Almost
Okay.
2.
They're beyond infant stage now.
They're toddlers.
They're toddlers. So we are fellow Sagittarians.
Yes, we are.
So tell me, what's your favorite characteristic about being a Sagittarian?
Oh, well, I'm a Scorpio Sagittarius.
Oh, so am I. That's why we get along.
Yeah, November 22nd, 1977. I'm a Sagittarius with Scorpio tendencies, so don't get it twisted. I might set you on fire or put you in a wood chipper, but I'll think about it first. I'll have a nice plan behind me and be like, okay, so what am I going to make? Are we going to make goulash or sausage?
Oh, I say sausage.
All of the above.
Now, I'm the 24th, so obviously we are in the same.
Yeah.
And I find that most Sagittarians, when they're around each other, they're either like at each other's throats, or they are compatriots in bad behavior.
It's not bad behavior if you want to do it.
Oh,
Just as long as you don't get arrested or caught or have to go to the hospital, I think everything's cool.
All
We're
right.
planners. We understand.
see, I'll agree with that. Yes, planning makes it okay.
Yes, we're like, okay, what do we want to feel now and later? And do we need bail money
Well, I know it's
for a
funny.
drive-away car?
There was one weird astrological conversation I had one time, and I had a chance with Boy George. I was backstage, and he said to me, "What sign are you?" And I said Sagittarius. And he goes, "I'm a Gemini. We would have great sex together." And I thought, "Oh God, I don't know what to say to that."
It's true. It's true, but it like you can see it, like we can see a Gemini change right away, and we're like, oh,
Yeah,
how do we get out of here quick?
yeah,
I'm like,
that's it. I
I'm
know.
like, and my boobs are so big, it's not like I can hide and slip away easy or jump out of a window. I'd get stuck, and then I'm caught.
So have your boobs gotten in the way ever?
Oh, yeah, actually, funny story. I was telling you this in the car. When I was in Ontario, I think I was at one of the Deja Vus. A friend of mine came in who I hadn't seen in a long time, sat in the front row, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? I don't know if I can say
Yeah, go ahead.
fuck that and shit, whatever. And I ended up doing one of my moves, but my boobs were barely, not even a year old yet, and I got stuck, like, upside down under my boobs. So I flipped my leg onto his shoulder, and I said, okay, so I'm going to do this, and you're just going to throw my leg back like it's part of the routine. And nobody knew I was stuck except for him. So kudos, you know who you are.
So they got untangled.
I was enraptured in my boobs. Hopefully, if you see me stuck, over the weekend, I'm just going to put my leg over and just hoist me over or something.
Well, speaking of your body, I got to do something that I've been wanting to do forever. No porn stars ever asked me to massage them
Ooh, with it.
pre-show. So I officially massaged Joslyn James pre-show today.
Yes, and he's going to do it later and tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
I was slightly turned on. No. Also, so tell me too. You have, 1.2 million followers on your Instagram.
Yes, I believe so.
When you communicate with them, where's your connection? What do you feel makes them want to see you all the time?
Probably just my transparency with my addiction, plastic surgery, honesty, just my lifestyle, I would say. Like, people ask a lot of questions, and with a lot of the med spas and plastic surgeons and different people that I deal with, they'll have people to be like, I want to do what Joslyn did. So there's like these packages we've created. It's called the Joslyn package. So they don't have to ask what I've done. To be like, I just want to do what she just did. So everybody knows.
That's what I wondered, because when I talk to fans of yours, just as I talk in the club, everyone says that about you. That one of the things that they've always appreciated is the fact that you do have that transparency.
Yeah.
And that not only that, but you own it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's I wouldn't necessarily say it's a regret per se. I mean, there are some things I wish I could undo, just like there's things I wish I could unsee, like you could blink it away.
Oh, I've got many of those.
Unfortunately, that's not life, and that's not how my eyes work, because Dr. Fearman, who did my LASIK, would have figured that out, because he had my eyes clacked open, and that shit was scary as.
Oh, I'm sure.
But you can also see that on YouTube. That's actually pretty funny. You get to see me freaking the fuck out, because I'm not scared of shit, except for anybody touching my fucking eyes.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah,
I never
just don't touch my
both
eyes or my ears. Everything else is okay. Just no surprise anal, because that's just rude.
Oh, see, now surprise anal doesn't bother me. It's the eyes that bother. No, I'm usually prepared for surprise anal.
Well, see, then it's not surprise. You're prepped, which is manners. Manners, people, manners.
That's it. So let's talk about surgeries. What's been the surgery that you found was the most gratifying? The one that like you were like, yes, thank God I fucking did that one.
Oh, there's been a few. I actually had a deadly infection in my right breast. And since I was a recovering addict, every doctor thought I was full of shit, and I was just trying to get pharmaceuticals. I'm like, actually, if you would have read my intake sheet where it says I was a recovering addict from alcohol and meth, yeah, you would know that there were no opioids, there were no pharmaceuticals that were an issue. So unless you're going to mainline meth into my IV during my anesthesia process or fill it with vodka, I'm okay. And yeah, and then I just, I got bigger ones after that. And then I did a facelift and septimplasty, because my ex-husband had was not a nice man, and some things had to get fixed. And
Understandable.
It just took a long time for me to find a doctor that I trusted, but I had medically stalked Dr. Bayoun, which is not stalking, it's medically stalking to find out how good he is. And he was the best. And then a couple other friends of mine that have gone to him for facial reconstruction. He literally changed my life. I can breathe out of my nose. And with all the drugs I did, surprisingly enough, there was no hole in my septum. It just was deviated from the nose break. But yeah, no, that literally changed my life. And that was a year and a half ago. And then I just went in for him to fix the right nostril and take a little bit more off the right eyelid and feel really good. And then I went and saw Dr. Ziering for my hair transplant. And I want to say that was probably the hardest surgery, because I thought my facelift was hard.
Yeah.
The hair transplant, because they took a big piece out of the back and sewed it closed, and you don't realize how much nerves you have in your scalp.
I've heard that from friends of mine who've done that.
Oh my Christ almighty. I wanted to die. I wanted to die. And then there's like not really anything you can really do for nerve pain, but they just prescribed me a medication. I didn't take the full dose because that would have had me like knocked out. Like people were like, that'll sedate a horse. I'm like, yeah, I figured as much. So I'm just going to microdose it like I microdose mushrooms and THC, and then it all worked out. But oh God,
that's a good prescription, by the way.
It really is, because anytime anything would hurt and I'd, microdose mushrooms, I would laugh. It was like laughing gas. It was the funniest crap ever. I was just like, oh, that hurts. The couch is eating me right now. It's literally like whenever I take mushrooms, it's like, I've microdosed it, RSO, which is a form of cannabis. And then I took a little too much, and then I felt like Maleficent when her wings got cut off. And then my friends were sitting with me so we could figure out what my dose was for the boob surgery. And I was like, they just cut my wings off. I feel like Maleficent. And my friends were like, what? I'm like, wait, they cut her, the prince guy cut her wings off, and then now she can't fly, this is what it feels like.
Oh, so it was a whole episode.
Yeah, so that's Maleficent when I take too much RSO. And when I take a little too much mushrooms, everything is like hysterical. And it's like my couch is the Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. And it eats me. And then my dogs, those the commercials with the dogs with the dentures and the lips? That's when my dogs look at me like Popeye and Oliver talking to me with these teeth.
See, I was going to ask you about your dogs. That was going to be my question. What kind of dogs are they?
They are Chihuahua Terriers. Popeye looks like Toto from Wizard of Oz, and Olive looks like Yoda.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, she's adorable, though. She's so pretty. And they literally just turned 10 years old. But we had a little scare with Olive. Turns out she has Addison's disease, which is the same thing that JFK had. But she was just acting, she's a little off, but she was acting offer than her normal offness. And I sent a video to the vet, and he's like, oh shit, I'll be right over to get her. And Popeye was acting, her brother, they've been together their whole lives. They literally are like an old married couple. So Vince, my vet, came to pick up Olive, and Popeye damn near bit his arm off. Like, Popeye just is not aggressive. Like, he's the softest, biggest, littlest teddy bear with a little bit of an attitude. But he damn near
like
bit
his mother.
a little bit. Damn near bit Vince's arm off. And then this is before I got my youngest kitten, but Sweet Pea, she's Siamese mix, also a rescue, but cross-eyed and day blind. She was being so overly like caring and like petting on Popeye and kissing him and licking him, and I'm like, oh, shit's not cool in this house. Shit, my blind cross-eyed cat knows shit's fucked up, man. So come to find out, they did the test, and she does have Addison, so she takes medication every day, and then she goes in once a month for an injection, and she's back to her normal cuckoo self. And then I've got Sweet Pea, which was my first rescue kitty, and then the newest addition, his name is Bluto. I also call him a domestic terrorist.
Oh, wow.
He is a little brother to the core. I've never owned a cat like him before, because Sweet Pea, she's only been around me and her brother and sister, which are dogs, so I call her kitty dog. But Bluto, him and his siblings were both, when they found him, they were all really, really sick, had really bad ringworm, and they didn't think they were going to make it. But he was the one that was in foster care the longest, so he knows he's a cat.
So you have a full house.
It is, and my kids away at college, so it's okay. It's just us, us and my plants.
Oh, so you're a free woman usually with the pets.
Yes.
Now tell me too, talking about other dependencies and different things. You're sober. You feel good.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that you love about being sober?
That I'm me again. I'm kind, I'm aware, I'm empathetic, I'm compassionate. Not that I wasn't before. I just think when you use, and it's usually, well, for me anyways, it was to try to be numb from childhood trauma and trauma from, my former marriage and just things that have happened to me in my past. And until I was able to just kind of come to terms with that, I wasn't going to be able to get the answers I needed, that I had to be what I needed.
Now, do people ever ask you, and I mean, this is a very personal question, but I always ask friends of mine, what's the part that you miss, though, about it?
Actually, funny, I watched Intervention quite a bit, and I don't know if it was a gentleman or a lady that was talking about, they were actually in the heat of a really bad meth addiction. They were shooting and smoking. I just smoked and snorted. But it was the one thing I missed, and I didn't realize it until they said it. They're like, the big white cloud of smoke. Yeah. That was it. Like, because you never get that same that you did originally the first time. You just never do. So they call it chasing the dragon for a reason. Maybe not necessarily with meth, but with heroin. But yeah, it was just a big cloud of smoke, and I'm just like, you know what I can do? I can smoke CBD hookah and get that big fucking smoke. And yes, oh my God, this company sent me this amazing hookah. I have to send you the link. It's incredible, and I found this really good CBD tobacco-free hookah, which is so chill. It's so mellow. It's so soft. Like, you don't even realize you're smoking hookah, and you're just like, hey.
I always ask everyone that, because I always think it's important to know, like, that's what makes you whole or complete. It's like, what are the things you miss and what you love? Yeah. And then what do you love now?
I love being sober and alert and kind and myself, and not being mean, because hurt people, and that's what I was doing. And thank God everybody accepted my apology, because they're like, we knew you were in there, but we also didn't really know you were an addict. We just knew that you drank a lot, but we didn't know all that other stuff. And I'm like, how did you not? It's not like I hid it, really. I mean, I just wasn't rude and didn't, make lines or do whatever in front of you, unless that was something you did too.
It's funny you say that. A friend of mine years ago, this is probably a decade ago, we were at dinner, and he had gone through his 12-step program, and there were, I would say, probably about 5 of us to dinner, and somebody said, as he was, starting to tell us his story, one said, just get to the part where you apologize for being a fucking asshole. And I said, I think that's step 3. So we're only on step 1. But yeah, he made it through, and he's a good guy. Yeah. But I always look back on that there was, friends being friends. Yeah. And that was a support thing too. Like, hey, look, we're all here. Like, let's move on.
A lot of my friends were like, we wanted you to get, I'm like, I wanted to get sober too, but unless you're ready, And I would apologize to my best friend Holly. Like, bless her heart, she's been my friend since we were kids. And I was just like, you know, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get sober when you asked me to.
Yeah.
But I am now. And yeah.
So talk about friends. Your friends, are a lot of your friends in the industry or are a lot of your friends out of the industry?
Most of my people are just normal, regular folk. Some
Yeah.
of them are, you know, ex-industry, but I'm not saying any names, but I've known them a very long time. And like I said, my best friend, I've known her for 40 years.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's important.
yeah.
Like, all of us don't hang out within the same groups of people.
Exactly. We all don't just talk about sex and have our titties out and fucking and sucking everything, okay? We wear clothes
That's right.
in public.
That's work.
Yeah.
Now,
And just because you see me having sex on camera, that doesn't mean you know me, and it doesn't mean we're together, and it doesn't mean you can come up to me in the middle of Whole Foods and just act a fool or record me and send it to me on Instagram.
oh yeah, that's creepy.
Who are your parents? Who are your parents?
Speaking of which, you and I have known each other for, I think, 10 years.
Yes.
It's a long time.
Right?
And I finally
Especially in this industry.
and I finally got to touch you today.
You did. And you can touch me later.
Now, I heard you do baby voice earlier too, but I hear that's something you do.
I do it really well, 'cause Daddy said, and then I can make cummies, and then I'm a good girl. Yay!
We're going to try this later.
There was this reel I saw last night that I did. I said,
It's like, I'm 99% angel, but that 1% gets me in trouble.
That's the line I liked. That's it. Now, you've done, no, I'm probably going to have this wrong. You've done over 20 films, major films.
oh, I've done well more than that.
I know.
Long gone.
So what are or is it 20 films that have gotten you notoriety as MILF?
Probably, I would say probably that or even a little bit more. But like what the titles when they.
I was going to ask you about that.
The only thing I knew what the name of the title was the stuff that I did for Vivid, and then when I did the Saint Ghostbusters for Axel Braun, I think it was Hustler. Yeah, that was the only time I knew what the movies were going to be called. Every other time I'm like, MILF something. She does this. Oh, she's fucking her stepson. Or okay.
You didn't read the script, obviously.
Oh, I read the script, but that doesn't mean that you know what the title is. I'm like, oh, shocker, I'm fucking my stepson. Oh, gee.
Is it in the kitchen this time?
I'm like, do I actually get to have sex on a bed or a couch instead of the sink? Like,
Yeah, that never works. Tell
no,
me about that.
They had me on a pedestal sink. They had all of this on a pedestal sink.
I was going to ask, how does that work?
It didn't.
Because I've tried to fuck in the
it
kitchen.
came off the wall.
Yeah.
It came off the wall.
I need like a winch, a pulley,
I need like
stool.
some kind of like a hoist, like, and I'm 145 pounds. Like, you got to be a solid person to hoist me up.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the guys are my size or shorter, and they're like, "Oh yeah, wear these heels, and we're just gonna put him on an apple box while he fucks you." I'm like, "Cause that's gonna be comfortable." I'm like, "Oh yeah, and we need to do a bunch of slow motions of you squirting this mayonnaise out."
Oh, see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried
Like
many
you-
scenes at home. It
Like
doesn't
you,
work
you
the
didn't get the
same.
mayonnaise shot on the first try? Come on, it's an easy. I did it really good.
Now, with those, I also have seen you have probably, I don't know how many appearances in high-profile TV shows or different things. Do you like doing TV or big production?
Yeah, I love TV, but a lot of that stuff is a bunch of hurry up and wait. Anybody who's done TV knows what I'm saying. But I've done a lot of magazine stuff just recently, which has been really, really cool. Like being on the cover again at 44
Yeah.
was kind of awesome.
That's impressive.
You know what I mean? And I got some other opportunities coming up this year. So, yeah, more covers at 45. Who knew?
I know, it's amazing. 1977. So you're a
Yeah.
bison. Oh, no, that was 76. Okay, you're 1 year. That's right. Okay, I'm fucked up. But yeah, I mean, what do you see Joslyn James doing next? I mean, obviously you're still at the top of your game.
Well, as soon as my house is paid off and my remodel is done, I'm probably going to do my very, very best to sit on the couch for 2 weeks. I don't know how good at it I'll be, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
And then just go back to doing what I love, and then also I'm going to get back into doing more stuff in the medical field.
Yeah.
Patient care coordinating for some plastic surgeons and med spas, because I know what I'm talking about. Somebody who's had 15 boob jobs in her entire life. I know a little bit about boobs.
Now, you think this is the last set?
Actually, I was just talking to Dr. Rivas. I was like, hey, Doc, what do you think about maybe going a little bigger?
Oh.
And he's like, ooh, we can do that. But I also did...
What is the next size up?
well, probably just cc's. I don't know about all that other stuff. But I have 1,800 cc's of implant, and I have 1,200 cc's of fat, because most girls do like fat transfer called a BBL.
Oh, yeah.
But my butt is good. I did not need it in my butt. But since they took all that infection out of my right breast, they had to take everything down to... past my ribs, and because the infection was really close to my lungs and my heart, so they took a lot of the fat and put it in my right breast, and then everything else they put to just even it out. So yeah, 1,200 cc's of fat in each boob, and then 1,800 cc's of implant. That's 3,000 each, and maybe the doc can take the implants up to like maybe 2,500. So that's gonna be some serious side boob.
Those are new pillows for me to sleep on.
Yeah, and I gotta say,
They're probably warm.
they are warm, really good circulation. But I have to say, my favorite thing to do now is titty fucking.
Oh.
I think it's the funnest stuff ever.
See, as a gay man, I think I miss titty fucking. It's been a long time
Well, you
since
can
I've
also
done
do
that.
it with butt cheeks. It's kind of like the same thing.
Kind of the same.
Yeah, like
I just have to put fake nipples on each cheek.
I told my partner, I said, if I'm
doing
just like,
that tonight.
Yeah, do it, please. I insist. I told my partner, I was like, if you just like squirt lube on my butt cheeks, if I'm laying on my tummy and I'm not responding well, you just take my butt cheeks, squirt it, have a good time.
I'm trying it. I have fake nipples at home somewhere.
Tell me all about it. If you need reinforcement, you need help, you call me. I'll FaceTime you through it.
Definitely. Now, let's see. The last thing I was going to talk about is I learned something new about you, because I've never really ridden in a car with you. And so you got to see DC driving, and I live right on the cusp of like one of the worst intersections on a highway in the country. As we were driving over, the lane kind of ends, but then another lane comes out, and another lane kind of merges, but no one seems to know. Are you a fighter on the road, or are you passive?
That depends on if my kids are in the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if my kids are in the car, forget it. I will follow you till you stop and get out of the car and be like, you see me now? You see me now? You see me now? You see that big car back there? Yeah, my kid's in there. Yeah.
Let's see. I learned something new about her.
Or if somebody's like honking and making a mess, I'll be like, shut up.
See, I've learned in DC, I just keep my mouth shut and just keep driving, because the next thing I know, there's all kinds of fun activity that occurs if you call people out. So now
I only, like I said, I only follow people if my kid's in the car. Otherwise, I'll just say, shut up,
yeah.
To myself with the windows up. Be like, what are you going to do? Say something. Say something. And then they're just like,
They're like, oh no, I just fucked with Joslyn
like what?
James.
Like what? All right, Scooby-Doo.
So what do you have, what's coming up for you? Let's leave on that note. What do you want to plug? What do you got going on?
Well, obviously my appearance here at Archibald's this weekend. You got to come check me out. And if you
Definitely.
haven't seen these, you got to see them.
We'll see them tonight and tomorrow.
Ooh. And then, I'm on OnlyFans, Sex Panther, Instagram. My Instagram is @JoslynJames. And you know this. And yeah, you can find me on those platforms, and yeah.
Well, Joslyn, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to see you. I can't wait to see you perform. And definitely we're going to have some fun. I think we're going to run around the city tonight, you and I.
Ooh.
Or no, tomorrow. That's tomorrow. I'm sorry.
That's tomorrow. Let's just be naughty.
Yeah, we can't tell you where we're going to be, but we're going to have some fun.
You'll have to guess.
That's it. Watch her Instagram. She might tell you.
Right?
After the fact. We don't need a bunch of people chasing us around the city.
No, we do not. No, we do not.
Joslyn, lots of love. I'll see you later tonight and
Absolutely.
tomorrow. All right. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Your